All right, so Dusty May, Michigan head coach, allegedly is expected to take the Dallas Mavericks head coaching job. I mean, Michigan gave him a start from Florida Atlantic. I think they said he made a Final Four run there, won the national championship at Michigan, and now he's going off to the NBA to take the Mavericks position. Check out the College Sports Talk playlist. Yeah, you got opportunity to go to the league. You pretty much got to take it because you always can go back to college basketball, and college sports is depend on your temperament. It's harder than the professionals, in my opinion. I mean, because when you a college coach, you got all these rules you got to follow. You know what I'm saying? You're responsible for everybody in the program. So if something go bad in the program, a player takes some money or do something wrong, regardless of you had something to do with it or not, it falls on you. So it's a lot of responsibility as a college head coach. You're responsible for a whole program, especially college football. So I would understand trying to get to the pros where, okay, I might have to work with a GM or whatever, which I guess you still work with the athletic department and boosters too. I got 15 men. The only difference that really changed, and I think that gap is really closed, was, coaching young men to be men and then coaching men. Some of the things that how you talk or how you treat teenagers or young men maturing into men, you don't go into in the NBA locker room or in this situation or pro locker room and something you can't talk to everybody that way. So the number one thing about coaching, it ain't really X's and O's. The number one thing is social. If you don't have the social skills and the leadership skills to lead men, it just ain't gonna work. In college, you kind of get away with it. It's my way or highway because you got young men in high school. But going into a professional locker room and gaining the respect, gaining the respect over those players, that's going to be Dusty May thing, kind of a quirky guy. Can he get the respect of those players? And now that the NBA is younger and younger and younger, and also college basketball is also including dudes with a bunch of money, the gap may be closing, but he still got to go in there and get those guys respect. So I don't think it's the gap is as wide as it used to be to get that respect. Remember, it used to be a gigantic gap. At one point, it was a gigantic gap to get that respect. People forget, now that these guys getting a little bit of money. I mean, now you're already dealing with, teenagers with money, not men with money. So how you do? I mean, winning a national championship in college is one thing. But hey, guess what? I try the NBA and I fail. I always can go back to college. So he may not get this opportunity again. He might go to Michigan and flop 2-3 years in a row. And now they thinking about getting rid of him. So when you get this opportunity, you got to strike. It talks about Tom Izzo going to the NBA. You hear from all the top college coaches. So Krzyzewski flirted with the NBA. I mean, but ultimately a lot of these guys they don't have the authority figure, to go in there. I think Coach K could have did it, but yeah, I mean, for Michigan, they hiring, I think, one of the assistant coaches is the interim coach. This came out of left field for all of them, but the Mavs called. I mean, is it the best job to take right now? I can't call it. Dallas is a booming city. You got Kyrie, Cooper, Flag. I mean, they're an upstart. You got some pieces over there, but why not? Why not? If Michigan's struggling, you always go back to Michigan, or you always be able to go back to college basketball. But this opportunity, you only get one shot. So for a guy to be able to win a national championship and possibly a Larry O'Brien trophy in the NBA, I mean, you're going to have to deal with the Thunder and the Spurs for years to come. But guess what? I don't think they expecting instant success from him. So hopefully he able to build it, take time. They got rid of Jason Kidd, which, you know, there was rumors that, you know, Kidd kind of wore on you over time. He didn't really know how to, like, his personality was just too hard. He wanted to go for the GM job. They didn't give it to him. So you got to remember that too. They hired Masai Ujiri, and then that was the nail in his coffin. So Masai Ujiri is the general manager. He got great taste in coaches and great taste in personnel. You know, obviously the Pistons trying to get Kyrie. Masai Ujiri said he's not available, or that's what they saying. Who knows? So usually, you know, if Masai Ujiri is making this deal, he must know something. He must absolutely know something about Dusty May. But yeah, shout out to Dusty. I mean, he delivered a national championship. You know, can't complain. You know, Michigan is not one of those schools where, you know, you gonna be a lifer no more. You know, where Coach K was at Duke, and it's hard to be at Bill Self is at Kansas. Is he still out there? It's hard, you know. Michigan, you know, with the academic requirements, it's not a lifer school. I don't know how many lifer coaches you got. You know, you had Jay Wright, most of his career was at Villanova. So Michigan is just seen to be a stepping ground. Harbaugh, stepping ground. You know, Dusty May, stepping ground. You know, the Bo Schembleggers and all that world. Yeah, that's a wrap. It's a stepping stool. You know, what Tom Izzo doing in Michigan State, you know, Bill Self doing in Kansas, what Krzyzewski did in Duke, that may be coming to an end. But hey, you can't get mad at them. You know, some people don't take this opportunity and never come around again. And college is just a grind. You know, it's a real grind. And you get to go from the cold winters, you know, of, you know, Michigan all the way down to Dallas. And then if it don't work at the Mavericks, he'd probably be able to go to Indiana and take over their program. Their program been a shit show for quite some time. And that's who, you know, probably always open up their wallet to him. So, you know, Masai Ujiri, he sees something in Dusty May. They hired him, kid out, May in. I don't know. So very interesting. But yeah, we'll see what happens. You know, you deliver a national championship, you really can't complain, you know. But hey, hit the link in the description. Check out the College Sports Talk playlist. Find me on X, Facebook, Instagram, wherever else you say. Find me everywhere in the description. I appreciate the love, support. And yeah, let me know what you think. I know a lot of Michigan people, they got caught off guard by this. Yeah, it kind of caught me off guard too. I'm like, hey, I ain't see this coming. You ain't hear nothing. So that's the thing about it. When you hear a lot of something on the rumor mill, it could, you know, probably a lot of nothing. It's probably the rumor is something completely opposite of what we hearing. Always remember that. You know, when you get stuff like that happen like this, I ain't hear nothing being said. Usually them quiet deals, you know, them the ones that's really getting hashed out. The ones they chattering about, usually it's probably false. Peace.